All right, so Notion has released their database update today, and I'm so excited about what it can do. This is just a quick video to show you some cool things that can be done. So I'm going to create a dashboard that can be used by any of our designers. And there are two things that I want to bring in here to start with, which is going to be their task and then meeting notes and action items from meetings. So let's go ahead and get started. So first we're going to do a link view of the database, and we're going to go ahead and grab our stories table. Now there are some existing views available from this table from other places that it lives. So I could take these views, or I can start with a brand new view. Let's just start with the roadmap view. But I'm going to edit this. So this is going to be say task. And I'm going to have this group by status. And I'm going to go ahead and reorganize these status columns so they're in the right order. Okay. But I'm going to say never show me the no status, never show me closed, never show me complete, right? And then I'm also going to say hide empty groups. Okay. So you'll notice that immediately grooming and review jumped down here because there's nothing in them. But if I move this over, so let's say we want to groom this more and I move it to grooming, then the grooming shows up and in process goes away. So that's really kind of nifty to keep it nice and tidy for this view. I'm glad that that got brought in. But at the same time, you'll see that there's 4 that's in no status, and I said never show no status. So that column doesn't show. If I want to see what's inside, I can still click and view what's inside just as we could do that before. All right, so other things that I want to do here is I want to go ahead and in this layout view, I now have the option to hide the database title. So let's do that. And that just makes it even more nice and neat. And I think I'm okay with the card view preview, so we'll leave that. I can decide which properties that I want to show. So since I'm grouped by status, I actually don't need status to show here. So let's hide that. Okay, that looks good. Now I'm going to add another filter. And oh, so we don't need this filter. That's left over from road mapping. So I want to add another filter, which is going to be, which is going to be filter by who it's assigned to. And I'm going to use the new option that says me. And so what this is going to do is now anybody who's looking at it, they're going to see their task, right? So right now I see the tasks that are assigned to me, and right now I'm Rachel, content designer, but I don't see the task assigned to Susie. If Susie were to log in, then she would see her task. Okay, so that's really cool that I can get in there and then do and just see like just my work. So it's individualized. I can go over to the other sprint board. I can also just say like maybe I do want to have a view where I can see everybody's view. And notice how tasks showed up here. So maybe I should rename this task. First, let's put timeline. So now that timeline view of that was set up before in another view. But let's change this to say my task so everybody knows exactly what it's doing. So now if we go to add a new view, then, you know, once again, picking that database table, then you see here the my task is there. Okay. All right. But we want this. Okay, so now we've got the my task view and we've got the timeline view. Okay. I'm going to make this page full width just so that timeline view looks a little better. All right, so now let's go ahead and do the second option that we wanted to have here, which is the ability to see meeting notes. So I'm going to go ahead and do the link view of the database, and I'm going to choose my meeting notes database. And maybe, so this is the default view, it's coming off of the main database, and maybe that's fine, but let's say I want this view to instead be a list of leadership meetings. Okay. And then for this, let's go ahead and add that filter. Same for everyone. And again, I want to hide the database column. And then maybe here, just to make this stand out as different from up above, I'm going to go ahead and just go ahead and put meeting notes here. I'm not going to spend time decorating because I just want to get to the point of what we can do here. So now I have my leadership. Maybe I'm going to do another view, and this time I want to go ahead and do it by the retrospectives. So I'll do that list view again, hide the table again, and um, I'm going to filter by the tag retrospective. Okay. So now I have these two lists, and I could go and do one that's just like all notes. But what would be more handy is if you look inside of my example note, you'll see that there's an action item here. This action item actually belongs to the task table, but we have it so that any note that's any task that's been assigned in a meeting is signed the tag action item. So I can make use of that here because this is all about meeting notes. So what if I have another meeting note that's all about, or another view that's all about the action items here? Okay, oops, I was searching. Hold on, let's get the database in here first. So I want my stories table, a new empty view that we're going to make a board, and I'm going to call this action items. Hide the database title, and then we're going to do the same thing we did above, which is that we're going to group it by the status. Okay. And I'm just going to go ahead and hide empty groups. You already saw how I could reorganize this, but I'm going to hide empty groups. And now for the filter, I'm going to say that the type is action items. Okay. And then let's just, for the sake of showing what's available, let's go ahead and see who that was assigned to and the due date. So now we have a really good, module here where we can easily see our meeting notes, but also the action items signed by meeting notes. So it's really cool that we're getting this one module where we can see different databases and see how those databases could be tied together by what they're about. Yeah, so that's really cool. So coming soon, I've got a new video that I'm going to be putting out that will show you how I have redesigned my web project template from scratch, pulling in a lot of the new features that we've had from Notion, since I originally filmed that video. So, over the year or two. And it's going to be exciting, but this update really, really helps to just bring things together. So anyway, happy notioning. See you next time. Bye.